Hello, hello. Welcome to JTV Extra. I'm Sandra Younger. I am the inventor of a cord knotting and design tool called the Knotty-Do-It-All. And on this show, everything is like with string material, knotted, like braided, macrame. In today's lesson, we are going to, I called it the triple wrap Chronicles bracelet because I have a story to tell about that, because the first time I made it, it was a disaster. And the funny thing is that it had been a design that I'd been like wanting to try for the longest time. And for some reason, I just never got around to it. But I thought, you know what, it would be perfect for the show. And then when I made it, I was like, oh, it was horrible. So I came up with the way that made it work. And I'm going to share it with you today. And another thing, I do not have the amount of leather that's needed, because I did try a couple of different like measurements. But on today's show, we are going to figure it out together. So it'll be like it'll be fun. That'll be interesting. So that way you can go like behind the thought process of how I go about figuring out how much like stringing material I need for something. It's actually, for me, it's a lot of fun. I always like, doing those calculations. You can shop for the products on the right-hand side of your screen. And don't forget to check, it is the beginning of the month. If you have a April birthday, you should be getting your $20 in brilliant cash. I checked my account. I got mine, so I am very happy. So I've got $20 to spend on something. I don't know what I'm going to get yet, but I'll definitely be checking that out. And also, don't forget, you could ask questions, leave comments down below. And if you see or like anything cool, especially during the customer slideshow, you could hit the heart button. Anyway, I'm going to quickly go over the products on today's show, and then we will get to the customer show, and then this really awesome project. All right, here are the products on today's show. Okay, so first we have, these are so pretty. This is a multi-stone large hole bead strand. You get 3 strands, and they're 8 inches long. Look at that. Look how pretty these are. Ooh, look at the one in the middle. That is so pretty. And the 2 of the sets, or 2 strands, are round, and the other strand is a rondelle. But they do have large holes, which is really, really nice. I love large hole beads. And then next we have these antique silver spacers, 100. You get a package of 100. And these are really cool because they've got like I don't know, what do they call it? Like a zigzag, a bric-a-brac, or like a I don't know, an up and down pattern. And it's really cool because they could lock into each other. So, hey, if you need like a 2 bead, you could just like make a 2 bead as long as you need it. Isn't that cool? So this antique floral texture. So it's got these flowers on there. So check it out. And then next we have these are nice because the strands are long, because usually, large hole beads, you get like the 8-inch strands, but these are the exception. There's rose quartz, quartzite, and blue magnesite. And here is a close-up of these. The blue magnesite ones are so pretty. And plus, everyone needs large hole beads in their bead stash. I know, I do, because a lot of times I'll use them for like the ends, like when I'm using like a thicker faux leather and I want to add an accent bead, the large hole beads to the rescue. So this one, let's see, 8.5 millimeter. Okay, that's how big the bead is. And you know what? I don't know how long the strand is. Like, I think they're like 15 to 16 inches because I used them all and now I can't measure them. And then next, my favorite tool of all time, which is the Knotty-Do-It-All. This, if any of you are joining the show for the first time and aren't familiar with this tool, this thing is like a workhorse for working with any kind of stringing material, because aside from being like, I make everything like really fast, really easy, but my area of expertise is finishing the ends of cords. So I've got so many like different like ways to do it, but I couldn't do it without this tool. I use it, because I work almost exclusively with stringing materials, and there's just no way I would even do any of it if I couldn't use this tool. This is everything you get. You get the board, you get your hardware kit. The instructions are available online. Everything's online. You get a password to Knotty Lessons, and it does come with a DVD and an instructional CD. You put it in a regular, computer. if you still have one of those. But you know, if you're like, I don't have a CD player or a DVD player, everything is available online as well. So I've got both bases covered, and we have our small board. But the nice thing about these tools is that they're very well made. They're heavy. They've got like anti-slip feet, so they're really nice to work with. I mean, when you work with these things, I mean, you just feel like it's part of you. It's just, you know, it's solid. You know, there's no fidgeting, no fiddling around. I mean, you just do it. I mean, it's fantastic. And the both boards, they feature the bead and ring size chart. I mean, the big one, of course, it's got the, you know, the wells, and it's got like the groove, which is also very handy. And the I mean, the nice thing about the big board is that, yeah, you can work on like a bunch of like projects at once, because I've worked like up to 4 projects at one time. But you know, there are times where the smaller one is you know, is ideal, especially when I'm traveling, or you know, if I just I'm in a smaller workspace, which you know happens, you know, sometimes. But you know, either board, I love them so much, and I would highly recommend either one of them. And so this is a close-up of, you know, our little one, and that bead and ring size chart is just so handy. So if you're ever on JTV and you're like, oh, you want to buy some beads, and you know, beads really they never look. It's impossible for a bead to look the actual size that it is on a computer, like on a phone, or you know, any way that you know use to like shop. But you could just like quickly reference the bead and ring size chart, and you know, you can get a very quick idea of like how big your bead is. So look at the 4mm. It's fantastic. I love it. And the last product is the a waxed jewelry cord. This cord is fantastic because it can be melted. And the neat thing about it as well is it's a 2-ply, and it does split pretty easily. So if you need a thinner version of this cord, you could easily split it. And I would say 99% of the time I do split it when I'm doing a macrame binding knots on smaller pieces. But it really is a fantastic like cord, and if you don't have it, it's definitely one of those like stringing materials that you'll use like all the time. I mean, my spool is like practically dwindled because I use it so much. It's in other words, it's not a waste of money, because you know, sometimes we buy stuff and we're just like, oh well, you know, I have it here and I've never used it, but this stuff does get used. So I think that's everything on today's show. We covered the awesome beads, the boards, the cord, and the spacer beads. Anyway, that is everything on today's show. You know, it's funny. You know, about the bead and ring size chart that's on the board. I remember years ago, like when shopping online was like a new thing, and I wanted a floor lamp. And I remember I was online, and you know, I don't know what, I didn't even think Amazon existed back then. This was such a long time ago. Anyway, I saw this lamp, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be perfect. And then when I was expecting the thing to be like 5 feet tall. It was like that tall, and I was just like, I learned, thank goodness, very early on, I mean, when you see the measurement on something online, like literally just like get a ruler or something or a reference and like measure it, because you could be like unpleasantly surprised. Anyway, my favorite part of the show is the customer slideshow, and I want to thank everyone who sent stuff in. Ooh, this one is so pretty. Laura Lee, Florida. Okay, it's got pearls and smoky quartz, and the clasp is in front with that cool pendant. Wow, that is so pretty. And then here is another picture of this necklace. So it's got the clasp in front with the spaced pearls on one side. I just love how it's like pearls on one side and then the smoky quartz beads on the other. A really, really cool design. And then next we have the ever so talented Sarah, North Carolina. This one is so cool. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's got the 2 strands, over knotted beads. And then it's got the pendants in front with the like little dangles with the button in front. Oh, that is so cool. Very nice. I really love this. I love the color of the leather. It's like a beautiful metallic blue. Very nice. And then we have this one is so cool. This I think this would look good with a black dress. I don't know if it's like a choker, Laura Lee, but I think it's really pretty. It looks like what kind of like I don't even know what that is, but they look like little moons or planets or something. Is it like a tiger eye? I don't know, but I think it looks really interesting. I really like it. And then next we have Sarah, North Carolina. It's really interesting because these beads, I was telling Sarah that I did not have a vision for them. But look at this. This looks, oh, it's fantastic. And I think these are the wooden beads with the acrylic beads that came in it came in a set. I don't know which set it came in, but this necklace is definitely very, very lightweight. So I think it's really, really cool what you did here. Just beautiful. It's got the rings on the end, and then that really cool pendant. That must be a big pendant. I mean, because I know that those acrylic beads were pretty big. So if that pendant is bigger than the beads, that must be a gigantic pendant. And then, oh, Laura Lee made these really cool earrings. I want to make these. Did you make these with the board? I was just purely curious if you use some fancy, wire bending techniques to make these, but these are really cool. I want to try making these because I like them. And then next we have, oh, look, it's another picture on a black background. Ooh, look how pretty they just stand out. So if you wear these at night, ooh, look how nice that looks. Now, it is, okay, one of them looks like, is it copper? And then the other one bronze? Is that what that is? I mean, that's what I'm seeing, but I think I like how it's got the wire wrap, like little beads, like just dangling in the middle. Really cool. And then last we have this really blingy bracelet from Michael, California. Let's see what we have here. So they're knotted, and then it's got like a little button. That must be a very tiny button because I noticed it's almost the size of the bead. Well, then again, I don't know what size these beads are, but I'm going to guess they're probably about 6 to 8 millimeter. It's got the little slide. Ooh, look at the little dangles. Ooh, so pretty. Thank you guys for submitting all your pretties today. That is our customer show. And remember, if you want to send in anything, email it to me at thenottydoitall@gmail.com, preferably Tuesday before the show. Wouldn't that fantastic? Oh, yeah, I was going to mention, don't forget your brilliant cash. I know I mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but some of the other perks that you get is, if you're a first-time purchaser, you get $40 in brilliant cash. And on your birthday month, which is at the beginning of the month, you will be given a $20 credit. And on the anniversary of your first purchase, $20. The Refer a Friend program, you get 25, your friend gets 25, and after 365 days, $30. God, so, I looked at my account today and it said $20. So all you really got to do is just like log onto your account and then check it out. But anyway, we are going to get started with today's project. And guys, there are so many new people here that I want to I just want to say hi to everybody. I mean, we've got Shelly and Sarah, Michael, are like, you guys are old timers. We got Rita, Julie, Mylene. Hey, how are you? It's West Virginia, is it? Let's see. There's so many of you guys. Pat, my timekeeper. Thank you, Linda. We got Susan. I just want to say hi to everybody. I wish I could take like an hour just to oh my goodness. We got Rita, Vicky. Oh my God, just everyone, just like hello, 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 and thank you for joining the show. Okay, we are going to get started with this, and like I said, I am going to oh, you know what? I've got this, and I know this is probably kind of useless because like Sarah, and a lot of you guys had suggested that I always have the products and everything that I use at the before the project, at least have like a visual that you can look at, maybe screenshot it or something to that effect of what I use during the show. And honestly, guys, I do try to remember, but sometimes I just plain out forget. But Sarah reminded me, so last night I made this. And the probably the most important part is like, well, how much leather do I need? I don't know. But we're going to figure it out today. So if you screenshot this and you're taking notes or anything, that's probably the most important part, because this is a pretty easy and straightforward project. So so here it is. Just I'll just let it like sit here for a couple of seconds, or you know what, you could always come back to it. But in the beads, this is for like, these beads are 8.5 millimeters. So, you know, just, you know, as I'm making this piece, you know, you'll get to see, like, you know, if you're using like smaller beads or larger beads, how to adjust for it. So the first thing that I did, okay, I have a ring. This is a pretty big chunky ring. And, you know, one thing that you need to remember is this, whatever you put in the middle will add to the length. So I'm going to start off, what I did was I started off in the middle. So I put a moose knot like on this side, and then I did this side of the bracelet, and then I did the same thing here. But the first one that I made, I don't know what I was thinking. Let me tell you what I did so you don't make the same mistake. So I had this idea that, okay, this part, I did one side and one side, and then I just did enough until before I switched off to where it meets right there. But then for some reason I thought that I would have to do half of the dark blue here so that when it wrapped over, it would like meet. So originally, and I had to take this thing apart a couple of times, it was like the blue and the blue, then dark blue, then the white and the white, and it was a train wreck. I mean, it looked horrible on. I mean, it just, ugh. But then, I thought, well, how am I going to make this work? And the weird thing is, what made it work is, it's kind of like having 3 bracelets in one. So there's number 1 right there in the middle, then number 2 on this side, and then number 3 on that side. The thing with this, I mean, if I were to make it over again, because on this side I have 15 beads, and on this side I have 13, so I would go 14 and 14, and that's because I've got about like a 6 and a quarter inch wrist. If you need to make it longer, that's where I got into a little bit of like trouble, because the first one I made, I had like a 60-inch working strand, and it was too long. I ended up with this much leather left over, which was like 20 inches. So then I subtracted that from the next one that I made, and I don't know why it came out too short. So I thought, you know what, I need to conserve my leather for the show, so that's how we're gonna do this together. And it's actually pretty easy. So the first thing we are going to do is we take the ring, and we are going to attach our leather with a moose knot. Now, this part here, it's interesting because there's one strand that you put all your beads on, and then the other one is the working one. So the one that you put your beads on, it doesn't need to be as long. So that one, I'm going to aim for, let's say, 13 inches, because I originally did 16, and it was like a waste of leather. So this part, I'm going to make let's go 16. And okay, I'm going to try 45 inches. Okay, so the board's about 20, 40, and then 5. Okay, so we're going to like write that down. Okay, 45 inches. Now we're going to find out whether it's too much or too little. Okay, so I'm going to get my ring. Okay, we said, how much did I say? How much did I say for the? Oh, see, I don't even remember now. Was it 13? Let me go back here. Let's do this again. So this was 10. I'm gonna do 13. 13 just to be on the safe side. So this end here, 13. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up to here, and that's where I'm gonna fold it. And then I want the long one on top. Because see how we have our short end, and then here's the long one. And then I am going to attach this with a moose knot. And the moose knot, in case you're not familiar, is you take a pin and a clip and put it an inch apart. Let me get a better clip because I don't think this clip is for this board. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So in case you are not familiar with the moose knot, it's such a cool knot. You just clip your cord in. I wish I could have this like sideways. And then put both. Okay, and I have my long strand on top. Let me see if I can like tilt this. Can you see that? Okay, so then I take a peg and I am going to wrap, let's go twice. Okay, there's 1 and 2. And then I'm going to hold it. Oh, I love making this knot. Okay, I think this, you know, the thing about when you're using leather, it just gets used up so quickly. So, okay, so I'm going to pull this through. All right. And then I'm going to tighten it. See that? Oops. Oh, Tess Bar. You should sing us a song. Tess. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so perfect moose knot. Now for the fun part. In the, okay, let's zoom out a bit. Okay, let's put this. And honestly, for this project, the large board was like the better choice. Let me get this out. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to clip that in. And on the short one, that's where you want to string your beads on. So let's see, how many did I do on that one side? Where's the bracelet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's get 6 on. All right. In this this bracelet, what I like about it, it's pretty easy. Oh, and I'm going to give you a tip. Okay, let me get these strung on, and then I'll give you like a really cool and very useful tip. And it's nice to know when, so that way when you're designing something and you're not sure how much, that was 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got 6 on, done. And let me get this here. And okay, so this, let's see, the working end was 45 inches. Okay, so we're going to write that down. I'm going to write it down. Okay, 45 inches. Okay. And this one is so easy because all you got to do is you slide your bead over. Hang on, this thing is like, and okay, let's put this. Am I doing that right? Oh yeah. So you put the cord underneath like this, and you make an overhand knot. See that? And then when you tighten it, let's get the bead over there. Just kind of like pull in that direction, because if you pull like going downward this way, whoops, let me get rid of some of the stuff here. Let me scoop my board over. It just lays better. So then you slide your bead over and then just bring it over, and see how my hand is like going in that direction, and then you pull, and then I like to get my fingers in there, whoop, just to tighten. A lot of you guys have seen me do this one. Paula, I see Paula, Gina, Crystal. So do any of you know, you guys know how to do this one, right? Look at that. Pretty cool. It's so fast. I mean, you just, I can, like, if I'm making like a 6 to 8 inch bracelet like this, literally I could have it totally done in 8 minutes because it's that fast. And what makes it like even better, it's that it like, I don't know, it's great for like large hole beads, pearls. Okay, see, I finished that in like less than a minute, I think. Okay, the tip is now, let's do this. We're going to come back and measure how much is left here. Okay, so let me get this off. Okay, so there's Okay, so now it's, okay, there's 18 plus 16. Okay, so 18 plus 16, and that's 14. Okay, so that's 34 inches. Okay, so 34 inches left over. So we started off with 45 minus 34. So this is 3 inches. Okay, so now we know that for every 3 inches, we'll need about 11 inches of working cord. Does that make sense? That so when you're calculating, you know, for every 3 inches, add you need like 11 inches of cord. So that way, if it's one reason it's useful to know this. So if you have like some leather and you're like, oh, do I have enough? Then you'll be able to calculate this. Okay, thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Shelly. Yes, $50. Oh, that's a different yes. Okay, so good. So now we can go on with the next part of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm going to do a 14 because this was my prototype, and I knew that that I should have done 15 and 15. 2, 3. And you remember that but if your wrist is bigger, then the thing to do is, as you're getting close, put it on, and then just keep adding 1 and 1 to each side until they meet. Because on this one, that first part, see how the beads meet, like as if it were a bracelet without a button or a clasp. So that's the trick. So you'll have your other moose knot on the other side, and then you'll be kind of like going like back and forth. So good. I know, you know what? I'm working on it. I want to do a book. There's so many things I want to do. I want to do a book. I want to do a live stream show. I want to, blah, 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 blah. I really do. I want to do it all. Ha 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 ha. Yep, that's a maw. I want to do it all. Okay, let's get this down. Okay. Okay. All right. So I was told that my writing wasn't like visible. So, okay. So in case you missed it, 11 inches for every 3 inches. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to move this down. And did I get my 14? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, no, one more. Uh-oh. These, okay. Is that's pretty, does it make sense? Like, does everyone understand like how I'm doing this? Like, it's kind of like a P, and then you go over. If you can't envision it, just imagine just making like an overhand knot. See that? But you are making it with the bead, with this cord like right in there. And then you just come in, tighten, and then if I'm going too fast, just let me know, because I don't want to well, first of all, I don't want to run out of time, which I don't think I will, but I just want to like make sure and explain everything. Okay, pretty quick, huh? Isn't that cool? Huh. It's such a cool bracelet. I like how, I don't know, it's like big and loud, and I don't know. I really like it. You know, I was telling, did that ever happen to you guys? You make so much jewelry that like you make something and you're just like not impressed. And then you see somebody wearing it. Because I gave a bracelet to a friend of mine that I made. And I must have given it to her about a year or so ago. And she was wearing it. I'm like, oh my God, that's so pretty. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to make one. And she says, you gave it to me. And I was like, really? It's like, I don't even remember making it. Okay. So that was kind of weird. Okay. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm getting worried here, man. Oof. This is like making me nervous. Or is it? No, I'm done. Am I? Oh, perfect. Okay, yes. That is one thing about this project. That always happens to me. It's because the amount of work versus how fast. I mean, it's one of those things I always go over because it's so fast and easy. It's like you just can't even understand like how could I have finished it that fast? That's like I'm finished with this side. I'm astounded. Oh my gosh. I'm now I feel like I don't know what to say except what are we doing next? Oh yeah. We're just calculating the amount of leather. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit interesting. If you need to make it longer, I think I calculated that. Let's see. Okay, and remember, these are 8.5 millimeter beads. If you have, okay, my wrist is 6 inches. If you need to go 7, you need to add 1 and 1 on each side, just like 1 and 1. Because if you look at this, two beads that are knotted makes an inch. So if you have a 7-inch wrist, you're going to add like 7 and 7. And plus a lot of that depends on like the size of the ring. I mean, the important thing is when you start, just like do that wrap thing where, you know, you just make sure that they meet. Wow, I feel like wow, like, okay. So now we know, and we've got like all this time left. So I'm just going to do the other side. So let's calculate this. Okay, so this, okay, you always want working cord. So this is good. This makes me comfortable. So I've got 8 inches left over. So now I'm going to like see if my calculations worked. So I'm going to take the 45 inches that I originally started with, and I am going to subtract 8, and let's see what happens. There's 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 7 and 3. Ooh, I'm going to try 37 inches. Let's see if it works. All right, let's do this. So this was 13. It's probably going to come out like horribly like under. Oh, you know how that goes. Okay, so there's 10, 20, 30, 7. So technically, if I did this right, this should be like perfect. Okay, ring in. Ooh, this is exciting. Okay, and I did a 13 right there, and then I'm going to like hold it, pull this out, long one on top, and now I'm going to do the moose knot. This is going to be really interesting because I've never, I don't want to say never, but rarely do I ever like calculate this and then actually listen to it. For some reason, I always end up like just adding way more than I need because I am a somewhat cautious person. Because there have been times where I thought I was calculating correctly and then it came out way too short, and that's the worst, right, Tess? Or oh no, Tess, I think you cut the wrong cord of something, the wrong side of, that's terrible too. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze this down. Beautiful. Okay, I can't believe how fast I did that. I'm still like astounded. Okay, I'm just going to clip this in. I'm going to string those beads on. Okay, let's get 6. I tell you, this, you know what's funny? Because some of the projects I think, oh, I'm going to have so much time left over, I end up like not having enough time. And this one looks like it would take forever, but it doesn't. Look, it's only 10:35. I always had an inch or two to make sure I have enough. I know, right? Joan, that is, oh, I know, me too. But this time I'm being daring. Okay, so I'm gonna get this side on. Oh, wow. So, okay, I'm gonna put 14. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I know, sometimes, I thought, oh, I'll do my customers a favor and I'll try to show them how to work with like the least amount of cord. And you know what? Sometimes it's just not worth it, because you struggle with these little ends and you have to use like tweezers and it's just not worth it to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you know what? I'll just grab these. 7, 8, 9, 10. And also, well, I'll tell you something in a minute because let me get these strung on. It would also look good as like a double bracelet, but the double is another story. I'll talk about it in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did I say 13? See, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. I think 14, 13, 14. Okay. If you did a double like this, it's weird. Maybe that'll be another show because the let's say we have that and then this comes around. How would you? Oh, that should work. That also looks really cute, actually. So for the double, okay, this is where it gets, is that where it gets interesting? Oh yeah, because this is really cool, guys. See how if you were to make it a double, the ring cannot be in the middle. Because if it were in the middle, your button and the ring will be on the same side. So you always have to have this offset, just like this, if you're going to make a double. Does that make sense? I mean, this is a crazy one, but it is, what's on my website? I might be a matter of storage space they have. Oh, storage space. What are you guys talking about? I want to know. I want to be in the, oh. Okay, anyway, let's do this side and then we'll see if my my calculations like were correct. Okay, let's do this. All right, very quick. Oh, these videos. Oh, yeah. I do have the links to the like they link to Facebook, but from what I understand, Facebook will be deleting like videos after 30 days. So earlier videos. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Michael. I'm aware of that. It's really too bad. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll have to come up with a plan. Because it's really a shame because a lot of those the videos has some really like valuable information. Let me come in closer, and I'd hate for it to get like wasted. How many mil? Okay, the wax cord. Oh, okay, that's a good question. I will get to that. Well, maybe I'll just answer it now. Oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, The one that I'm using that I'll be using to make the macrame binding knot is the 0.5. Okay, the wax jewelry cord, it's available in 0.5 and 0.9. The one that's on the show today is the 0.9. We have it in beige and black, but this one, it can be split. So if you when you get the 0.9, it's like having like two string materials in one, because you can like easily split this one. And I'll as soon as I finish this, I'll show you the cool way to split it. It's really, yes, because you want, when you're doing the macrame bind, let's see, that was a good question. That was a very good question. Let me see here. Let me oh no, Tess, that's terrible. Oh, you know what? That is honestly like one reason that you shouldn't count on like social media for like anything that you want to like preserve, like anything ooh, how am I doing here? Ooh, I got one left. Oh, the good news is, actually, guys, when you get to the last one, you don't put a knot. Okay, let's take that off. And see, this is very forgiving, because look how easy it just like comes off. And look how beautiful the calculation was. It was spot on. So write that down. Okay, so we're gonna like go back to this this little graphic that I made. And if you do a screenshot of it, on the leather, write down 13 for the core and 37 for the what? For the knotter part. But there's also another calculation that you'll need, which would be like, well, how much the leather goes into making one, because let's say you need to make a 7-inch. Let's say you just need to make it a little bit longer. Those are some other numbers that you'll need, because these are the numbers for like the 6 to 6.5 inch. So let's figure that out. Let's do it. Let's figure this out. So we're going to do this. This is pretty easy to figure out too. So right here, I've got this little piece of leather. I'm going to measure it. Let's see what it is. Let me put a clip here so these don't fall out. And so right here, it is 7 inches. Okay. So 7 inches. And I am going to knot 2 of them. Whoops. Let's get that in there. Okay, so I'm going to do my knot. So there's 1 and then 2. Okay. Okay. Now let's measure how much we have left. Let's see. So that was 7. Now we have, let's go 3.5. It's crazy. So for just 2 of these, you need 3.5 inches of working cord. So if you're making it longer, make sure and add like 3.5 inches for like every 2 beads. That's a crazy amount of leather. That's insane. Wow. But anyway, I'm going to take these off because I don't need. And I just love this bracelet because if you mess up, it's just so easy to fix the problem. All right. Okay, so now we are going to get the button on. And that is where this faux leather, okay, so you could either use the 0.5. And the reason, I wish I had when you're making binding knots like this one here, you want to use the thinner cord, because the thicker the cord is, it's more like the thin one is like this. The thick one is kind of like this because it's so like thick, and it just doesn't get as good a grip. So what I do here is I'm going to put a, how do I do that? Did I do a ring on one side? Let's see, on the button. Yes, I'm going to put a ring on there. So let's get our 8mm closed ring. And I like the closed rings because they don't open. That's like, I guess that's why it's a closed ring. And the amount of space, I kind of like I don't know if it's a learned thing, but if you look at it like that would be too close, that's too far, but you just kind of like look at it and you just want enough space in there just to get like a good like sized binding knot. So I'm going to come in here and like fold this and just about right there. I'm just going to squeeze it maybe a little bit shorter. I would say maybe like 1/3 of an inch. So okay, I'm going to squeeze it right in there, and I'm going to come back and clip this right here. I'm going to clip this right here just to hold it, and then somewhere along the way, I'll just like clip it. Or, you know, if you're concerned about like marring your leather, you can just use a scrap piece of thread just to put it on here like this and just like grip it anywhere. Let's just wrap this around like that and just hold it. Okay, so see right in here is where we are going to make the binding knot. And these knots, so if you use the right stringing material, are like rock solid. I mean, a lot of you guys, you know, make these like, okay, let's get this. Boom, ta-ta. Okay, so right in here is where you do, and when you do the binding knot, you want to make sure and do it nice and tight. And if you want to like extra security, you could put in some GS Hypo cement in there, not super glue. I don't recommend any other glue for that except the if you want to make it secure, the GS Hypo. And when I come up here to like put this, I kind of like to get it as close, I kind of just like wiggle it down a little bit. Okay, right there. So there's a top, and then I'm going to do the bottom. Uh-oh, right there, top, bottom, nice and tight. If you're using and then I just go back and forth, just I want to say very tight, but not so tight that you like cut through the leather, because that happened to me once. But then again, I was using like a 1mm leather, and it just like sliced my leather. It was so sad. And then you just keep going until you get to the top of the bead. And then bottom, and nice and snug. Okay, but don't cut it yet, because you want to come back around. And then you want to like macrame back over your macrame to make it like extra like strong. So there's a top. And I know a lot of you guys know this already, but if you're new, this is how I make it like super strong. And I macrame it all the way back to the to where I started. I think just, I don't know, it looks, you could stop at this point, but you know what, why not? And then I think that's good. That's perfect. Okay, and then with a thread melter of some sort, you can come in and just, ooh, this smoke. And I know I've mentioned this before, but if you work, hang on, in a small spot, having like a small USB fan is very, very helpful. And then when I come to trim these, one thing I find that works really well are just like a pair of cuticle scissors, and you don't need anything fancy. You can get them like dirt cheap, like, you know, I buy them by the dozen. So you just come in here nice and close and boom, perfect. Look at that. Nice and super clean. And, oh, I think we have time to do the other side, which is the button. I think we do. I decided to use, on this one I used a button with a shank. And what I did was I fed the leather just through and then folded it over just like I did on this side. And am I gonna have time? Let's see, we got 10 minutes. Oh, nah, I don't think we're gonna have time. But I'll try it anyway. I'm gonna try this button, a different button. But first, let me see if I can get these this through twice. And the answer is nope. What shall I do? You know what? I will pretend like I put the button on, okay? Because I want to show you how to finish the end here, in case you don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's move this aside. Let's pretend like I got the button on, which, you know, I got the ring on this one, which you saw, but you put the button on exactly the same way. You like fold it over, and then you do the macrame. So you'll end up with a button on one side. Capuche, does that make, let me see, where's my camera not focusing? Okay, yeah. So let's just pretend. So the next thing that I do to add the slider, I'll take the faux leather and let's see, is my faux leather? I put them in these little bundles. Let me get a unbundled one here. And for this one, I used the 1.2 millimeter. And the reason is because you want the ending, you want it to match in scale. So you don't want like a really skinny, like slider knot with a big chunky bracelet. Like this one here, I put like, no, that's not true. This is well, here's one. Here's a perfect one. Laura Lee made this one. She used it. It knights perfectly to scale. This looks like about a 1 millimeter faux leather, and it's just like perfectly scaled with the bracelet. Look how pretty that is. And so like anything thicker wouldn't have matched, you know, so you just want to like, you know, I have had Chronicles cutters. Oh my God, they are my absolute favorites. Okay, okay, so let me not get distracted by like pliers, because I do have my big favorites. So I'm gonna get the, should I do this size? Is that what I did here? Because I want it to match. I cut it off. Yes, so this is the 1.2. So I'm gonna measure 12 inches. And when I do the moose knot using the 1.2, because we're gonna put a moose knot here, you want to offset it by 4 inches, because the moose knot, there's like different, like, I don't even know what the word is. One of these days, I thought when I redo all my videos, I have to have like a whole series on just the moose knot alone, because when you come to make it for like an ending part, the measurement is just a little bit different. So I usually go 12 or 13 inches, long side on top. And then, let's see, I got my pin and my clip an inch apart, and then I'm gonna make a moose knot. But this one, I do like one wrap and then through. And that'll give me like the two loop moose knot. Okay, so let's get this through here and tighten that down. And then the neat thing is when you slide this up, yeah, because yes, Gina, because if you don't have the long side on top, these ends, they will be so like you do that 4-inch offset, because once you do it and then you tighten it, they're like almost the same length. Nothing's worse than when they're like one of them's like 4 inches longer than the other. So that's the tip for getting it like perfect. And then the next thing that I do is I'm going to put a sliding like knot, just like Laura Lee did here. Perfect. But this is important. I am going to step down in the size, especially if I'm using like the 0.5, not so much, but if I am using like a thicker, like a 1 point, let me see if I've got, oh yeah, should I do the one? Yeah. Because I don't want the knot to be like so like giant. So actually I didn't even need that much. For the coil knots, about 5 inches should do the trick. So I'm gonna center this and I'm gonna wrap 1, 2, 3. I like to go 4 these days. I used to do 3, but 4 seems to be the magic number. And focus and lock. Okay, so now I take the peg out and see how I have my finger like just pushing up, and there is a tunnel in there. Let me see if I can like show you. Can we see that? Oh, see that little tunnel in there? And this goes in this way, and then this one goes in that way. Perfect. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna like, okay, tighten, squeeze, and tighten, and then with your fingers, this evens out the tension, and then you're gonna pull. It's kind of snug. Okay, really important. Like right now, okay, what you want to do is just put a knot on this end, because that's just going to let you know that that is the one that is going to get cut off, because nothing's worse than cutting off the wrong one, because it's happened to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide this all the way down. And the reason is because I need to melt these into balls, and I don't want the part that's actually going to be part of the bracelet to get like melted. And this has a tendency to do that. So I'm going to cut this about maybe about that much. I don't know, about 1/3 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. And one thing I do is I like to fluff it out. And then I'll take a lighter and just slowly like melt that. And this one, you do not want to tap it down. You just want to let it cool completely. And that ball is what's going to like hold the piece in place. So I'm going to come back over here and wait till it cools down, because you don't want it like flat, because it's going to like scratch. And it cools off pretty quickly. I think within 10 seconds it's done. Okay, let's fluff this one. Oh my goodness. I'm running out of time. Okay, I'm going to do this side. Hold it, let it cool. Okay. I don't want to take any chances. Okay, now I'm going to move it down. And you need to put like stop knots right here, but you don't want to make it any bigger than it needs to be. So open the loop up and just put the button through, and just, you know, just scoot it down a little bit if it needs to be a smaller. And you don't want to make it too small, because, you know, like Pat said, the 10-second rule, if it takes more than 10 seconds to get on, your chances are you're not going to wear it. So right here and then right here, we are going to make overhand knots. So let's get a post here, and we're going to make them like right up to the knot right there, the coil knot. So you could just like tap this down and pull it. And then you flip this over and then do the same thing, or you could use a knotting awl if you prefer. Scoot that down and up. And then right on here, this is where I put the, I'm gonna, oh no. Oh no, oh no. Oh, how much time do I have left? Ugh. Well, you guys, okay. What I do is I just put the, you know, whatever beads I'm going to put in here, and then do, I'll just do one, because I can see I only have just a couple of seconds left. So you just come in, like tighten it, and do the same thing to the other side. And then you melt this just into a ball and tap it down, and then you're done. I am out of time, but I think I got most of it done. I'm very excited. Let me close this so it doesn't like show. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show and you learned something. And if you have any suggestions for like future shows, just let me know. And I can like work it out because I like getting like customer requests. All right, guys, have a fantastic week, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.